The following program is video supplemental instruction. VSI is brought to you by the Teaching Center, UF's Learning Support Center, www.teachingcenter.ufl.edu.
For number 1b, we're asked to evaluate the following expression, and we have a lot of fractions, decimals, and fractional exponents. But in order to do this, what you're going to want to do is turn everything into a fraction first. So all the decimal components, let's deal with in terms of fractions. So the first term, 0.25, we can rewrite that as 1/4. And it's to the negative 2.5 power, which is negative 5/2. Now the other terms here are already in fractions. This is multiplied, this is divided. Okay, so now let's start to apply all of our powers to our terms. So remember that if you have a fractional power, you always want to do the denominator first, which is doing the root of that degree, because that'll make your number smaller. You don't want to square 125 and then try to take the cube root of it. It's a lot easier to do that the other way around. So let's start over here. First we want to take the square root. Well, actually first, since it's a negative power, we want to flip our fraction. So really, this is like 4 to the 5/2. Because remember that a negative power just means you do the reciprocal. So now we want to do the root first. The square root of 4 is 2, and then 2 to the 5th power is 32. Okay, here we want to do, now if we have a fraction, remember you have to do these to both, the top and the bottom. So first let's do the third root, the cube root. The cube root of 125 is 5, and the cube root of 8 is 2. And then we would have that squared. And now here we have divided by 5 to the 1/2 to the 4th power. When you raise something to a power to another power, you multiply those. So we have 1/2 times 4, which is just 5 squared. Alright, let's write that a little bit more simply now. So we have 32 times 5/2 squared. And now instead of saying divided by 5/2, 5 squared, I'll just make it a fraction bar. So this is everything we have now. Lastly, we just need to evaluate this. Well, when you have something squared like that, you just square the top and the bottom. So we have 25/4. 5 squared here is 25. So now we just need to evaluate this fraction. Well, you can see here that we have a 25 and a 25 in the top and the bottom. Those cancel out. So lastly, we just get 32 divided by 4, which is just 8. So the strategy you want to use here is that always convert anything that's in a decimal to a fraction first. And remember that a negative exponent means to flip what's inside. If it's a fraction, in this case 1/4, just its reciprocal is just 4. But when you're dealing with fractional exponents, always do the root first, because you'll get less confused by the numbers that way because they'll stay smaller.
The Teaching Center, UF's Learning Support Center, www.teachingcenter.ufl.edu.